You're listening to the All Veterans Hour on WLIJ, engaging discussion by veterans for veterans, with your hosts Gary Leverett and Jimmy Miller. They are discussing veterans programs and issues, playing veteran-related music, and keeping American citizens informed on things they ought to know. Every second and fourth Monday on 98.7 and AM 1580, and also on WLIJradio.com. The All Veterans Hour on WLIJ is brought to you by the American Legion Post 23, the DAV Chapter 43, and the VFW Post 5019.
Good morning, Shelbyville, Bedford County, and surrounding areas. I'm Gary Leverett. I'll be your host for the next hour. Got Jimmy Miller here, my co-host. Good morning, Jimmy.
Good morning, Gary. Good morning to all our listeners.
And we have a couple of special guests this morning. We have Amy and Marty Fitzgerald. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, that worked out good. So anyway, we're going to be talking to them a little bit about what they do. They have a 114-acre ranch over in Mount Pleasant?
Yes, sir.
In Mount Pleasant. And we're going to be talking to them about what they do for our veterans. So tell us a little bit about what you guys do. We'll just start that way.
Yeah. Like you said, we have a 114-acre ranch. It's mostly wooded, a little bit of pasture, and we've got an apartment we built above the garage so where veterans can come and stay. Amy has a cabin where she does trauma therapy. She's a trauma therapist. She does therapy and coaching for veterans. Really, on the property, we just allow for veterans to come out and kind of get a break, take a step away from the everyday grind, and just enjoy the peace of the land. We take veterans on hunts. We have an archery range, several activities, swimming pool. Just allow people to come out and have some camaraderie. I'm a veteran myself. My son is a veteran. Amy's father was a veteran, a Vietnam veteran. So we've been around it a long time. And I knew some of my own struggles that I had coming out of the Army. And, honestly, some of the things that I struggled with, but I didn't really know I was struggling with until they started to become a problem. So Amy and I together developed this theory, and it's in our booklet. It's also on our website. It's called They Made Us Warriors, where we actually identify the ICE, and it's really about the military programming that goes into an individual when they join the military and some of the rights they give up to themselves. And Amy has actually helped alleviate some of the effects of that, and I'll let her maybe explain a little bit about the ICE and the theory, if you wouldn't mind, babe.
Sure. So basically, kind of what we figured out was when you go into the military, everyone is very different, and they have to make everyone have the same goal and do things the same way. And so the way that they go about doing that is you go and you take on that oath of enlistment. And then later on, whatever branch you're going into, you have your own oaths and creeds and the way that they do that. And you get instilled in you this value system: mission first, team second, self last. And in that process, going through basic training, you basically create this disconnect within yourself to not have access to feelings the way that a civilian would, because you can't let your feelings get in the way of taking care of your job, making your mission get done. And you have to do that in order to ultimately, if you're ever called to have to defend yourself or, unfortunately have to protect yourself from someone else, you can't let those feelings get in the way. The problem is when you get out, it never gets reversed. so you don't get access back to that part of yourself, access back to being able to put your needs before other people's, access back to that range of emotion you had prior to the military. And so you come into the civilian world, and now you have this military mindset, but in a culture that's completely different. In a culture where self is first, maybe there's a team, and maybe there might be a mission going on there. And so I basically figured out how to reverse it, how to recalibrate it. And I've done that now in over 90 veterans. And so when guys and ladies come out there and they want me to, I can remove blocks that have gotten in the way from them emotionally, from their experiences even before the military or after, but then I can recalibrate them and give them access back to what they've been disconnected from. And it's really cool to see what happens when that happens.
I can't say how it is now. All I can do is go back to 1967 when I was in the military. I'm a Vietnam veteran also. Mm-hmm. And the problem with a Vietnam veteran was we're in the field, and then 3 days later we're sitting at home in our mama's living room.
Yep.
No downtime.
That's right.
Right. There's not a transition, and there's programs in place today to help people transition out of the military, but it's not one of those things that's really addressed. They're focused really more on career and lifestyle, really, that more than just that mindset of, and like one of the things, like when I was having some struggles of my own, like I was having a hard time feeling joy. Like I could do my job. I was good at my job. I had a great career, but I always had to be doing something. Like I couldn't rest. I couldn't relax, and I had a hard time feeling joy. Like if I had a job to do, I was good. But if I had to try to figure out what I was going to do with myself, it was very difficult for me. So, and I hear that from a lot of veterans that come out. You can't relax. You're always taking care of somebody else, even to your own detriment. You're in relationships that you cannot seem to allow yourself to get out of because you have a sense of responsibility and duty to those people. You
can't handle downtime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't handle downtime. Yeah.
And so and that's one of the things that you kind of forget how to play, right? We all you grow up and you can play as a kid, but like it's kind of we talk a little bit about the fact that when you're in, you kind of get two emotions. You get anger and you get fear, and you only get fear as long as it's not detrimental to your mission, right? And so your range of emotion is so narrow of what you're allowed that your ability to experience those and operate and function in a wider range of emotion is very difficult. And you think about 1967, you were probably 17, 18-year-old kid. Just like I was 17 when I went in, and I didn't know what it was like to be a man. I went right out of high school, and so everything I learned about adulthood and being a man, I learned from either watching television or the way my father was, or what the military instilled in me. So when I got out of the military, I didn't know any different. Like, I didn't know that, like, you could be late to something and nobody was going to die. Things like that, right? You can't. It's okay to actually walk on the grass. You can do that.
Yeah.
But it's all this military mindset and that discipline that, like Amy said, you have to have. You've got to be able to take, a platoon of, 40 to 50 guys and march them in the correct path so that they are not going to waver in an extremely stressful and difficult situation that is life-threatening, or in one way or another, where it could be your life being taken or you have to step up and take another life. You can't allow the doubt to creep in. Otherwise, the military in general potentially fails, right? And they'll tell you that when you go in, like, if you fail, if you are the weak link, you are letting down your team, your platoon, the United States Army, the citizens of the United States, God, and your mom and dad, everybody, like you are. If you fail, if you are the weak link, you are letting everybody down. And I think that's one of the reasons that, you know, a lot of times veterans come out and they're like, they have the attitude like, well, I don't need help. There's people that need more help than I do because I didn't do this or that, or I didn't, you know. There's always somebody that had it worse.
We hear that all the time.
Yeah.
We hear it all the time.
And the fact of the matter is, you know, if you served, you deserve help. And you need to be able to ask for it, and that's one of the things we offer at the ranch. Okay, we're going to take a break right here. We always do some veteran-related music, so Brandon, play number 1 for us, buddy.
I knew what I was fighting for. With the good guys, with the bad guys, kick some butt and win a war. But they don't need me now, and these days it's not so clear what I'm fighting for back here. They make it so a 17-year-old can understand our freedom, our way of life is resting in your hands. Then they give you boots and guns and gear, and they train you up real well. Send a prayer on up to heaven and send you off to give them hell. I learned to sleep with mortar fire just outside my tent. Now night times when I fight to turn that stuff off in my head. And on other nights I lie there, crazy as it seems, I fight all night to stay awake, 'cause there's some dreams I hate to dream. Over there, I knew what I was fighting for. Find Osama, get Saddam and kick some butt and win a war. But they don't need me now, and these days it's not so clear what I'm fighting for back here. There's a battle every day, a job to land, a bill to pay. Sometimes I think I spend my whole life fighting the VA, and it's a battle staying sober when that voice says have a drink. 'Cause the hardest times of all are when I just sit alone and think. Over there, I knew what I was fighting for. It was black and white, wrong against right, kick butt and win a war. But they don't need me now, and these days it's not so clear what I'm fighting for back here. So I fight to save my family, I fight to get respect, and I fight to keep my sanity, and I fight to save my neck. Well, if there's some way to win this thing, nobody taught me how. If they taught me how to fight, and that'll have to do for now. Over there, I knew what I was fighting for. Give it everything you got, just kick some butt and win a war. But they don't need me now, and these days it's not so clear what I'm fighting for back here.
All right, we're back again with Marty and Amy Fitzgerald. We're talking about Freedom Ranch, and guys, we'll get back to y'all in a few minutes, but we got a little work to do here to tell some people about some things going on here in the county. Jimmy, tell us about our meetings, my friend.
Okay, for this month, we have our VFW, Post 5019. Our meeting is the first Monday of the month. We're located at 1320 East Depot Street. The second Saturday is the VFW breakfast, It's $10 for adults, $6 for kids. Under 6 eat free. The third Saturday of the month, we have a potluck dinner. It's $3, and we ask everyone to bring a covered dish. Our American Legion Post 23. Our location is 1357 Tennessee 130, which is very important if you put it into your maps.
130 East.
130 East.
If you don't put East, I'll be following you to Petersburg instead of Shelbyville.
But we meet on the first Tuesday, and our meat is provided by Rowdy Ranch. All we ask is everyone bring a covered dish, and spouses are welcome. And our Chapter 43 DAV meets on the second Tuesday of the month. Meat is also provided by Rowdy Ranch. All we ask is that everyone bring a covered dish. And once again, spouses are welcome to these events.
And the DAV also meets at 1357 Highway 130 East. The DAV and the American Legion meet the same place. First Tuesday and second Tuesday.
So
okay, we're here.
Once you can find it twice.
Huh?
So if you can find it once, you can find it twice.
We're here with Marty and Amy Fitzgerald. And Amy, you want to continue with your thoughts there?
Well, one of the things we were talking about on the break was I've been working in mental health for about 20 years, and then I ended up, when we decided to open the nonprofit, to retire my therapy license, which a lot of people were shocked by because it takes a really long time to get licensed, and often people associate, having your license with being like the top notch with working with clients. But from my experience working with veterans, a lot of times veterans have had negative experiences with therapists, or unfortunately going to the VA, or just the idea of going to get help. And so the thought of going to somebody who calls himself a therapist can be very off-putting. And so in order to create a space and an environment at our ranch where people felt safe, they felt like they were wanted, they felt like a person, I retired my license, and by doing that, it gave me the ability to allow a veteran to come and sit with me in my cabin and for me to get to know them, and not have to deal with paperwork, not have to deal with insurance, not have to deal with diagnoses and none of that stuff. We do everything for completely free for veterans. So whether they're staying at the apartment, whether they want to come out and talk to me, whether they want me to recalibrate them, if they want to come out on the land and hang out with Marty and Tyler and do stuff, or if they just want to enjoy the land on their own, it's all completely at no cost. So, but yeah, it's a little unusual because when you come out to see me, you get somebody who's had over 20 years experience working with trauma. I have a master's degree in clinical mental health counseling and a second master's in military psychology. I've worked with vets for over 6 years now. I've recalibrated over 90 of them, all branches. And I speak the military culture. I get it. And I really care about knowing each veteran's story and meeting them where they're at and walking them through whatever process they need to walk through. And I'm really good at it, and they really like coming to see me. So, yeah, it's a little bit of a different kind of experience than going to a regular kind of therapist in that nature.
Yeah, the VA, they may put you in a therapy group. Mm-hmm. And what I found is that veterans won't talk about their experiences unless it's another veteran that's been there.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Then they'll talk.
Yep.
But, your traumatic experiences, you don't want to bring that up over and over and over again,
right. And there's part of that like as my son described it when he got out, he's like, I don't tell people because I don't want them to look at me like I'm some kind of monster or I've got 3 heads, like I don't want to be judged by these people that don't know what it was like to be there. So he has experiences that he just doesn't talk about.
It wouldn't do you any good to tell them because they haven't been there.
They don't get it, right? There. And so one of the things I wanted to bring up, and so we created this theory, and it's all around the ICE, and we talk about the ICE as it's kind of an acronym for involuntarily cut off emotionally. And the way I kind of described it when Amy was asking me about how I operate, how I go about my day, and I know that our listeners can't see it, but there's a picture here of a soldier walking across a frozen pond, and the way I described it is it's like I go through my days like I'm walking across a frozen pond, and my mission is to get to the other side. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how cold I am. It doesn't matter how much pain I'm in, or if I miss my mom, or I lost my best friend yesterday. I have to get to the other side. All the while I'm walking, it's like my own humanity, like my own the human part of me is underneath the ice, drowning in the freezing water, like banging on the ice to like let me out, let me breathe, let me thrive, and I can't let that vulnerability in me out to feel joy or feel these things, because there is a possibility if I let that part of me out, I won't make it to the other side, and that's not acceptable. And I've described that to several people, from Vietnam era up to the global war on terror, and like it seems to resonate. And with our theory that we have published and is on our website, we've had several people read that and actually tell us, like, I have lived my life like this for 50 some years, and I've never actually been able to put words to the way I feel, but this actually describes it very well.
Like I say, the VA will put you in therapy, but they're going to have a therapist there that hasn't been where you've been.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And part of it, what we see is, if you go into therapy as that guy above the ice, we're so good at shutting ourselves down emotionally. Like, all of the things that you need help with, they're not going to penetrate that guy, right? Because we can shut it out. We're good at it. We're trained to do it. We can shut out some of the most horrific things ever. But once you can break through that ice and let that vulnerability and that human person come up, and it opens that up, like Amy was saying, and it actually allows the therapies to be received and
do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, be helpful. Mm-hmm. So if it's like trying to get through this hard shell, and to fix the thing on the inside. But if all you're doing is knocking on the hard shell and you can't get to the inside that needs to be fixed, you're wasting your time. And we've had a lot of veterans that come, and like Amy does a very good job of making people feel welcome and comfortable. She works out of a cedar cabin, and it smells good. It looks out over the pasture. It's a very comfortable setting, and she just has a knack for being able to get people to open up, and people want to. And we've had people, like, sometimes people will come out for an intensive where they'll stay in the apartment for free, and they'll see Amy for a couple of days. And I remember I had one guy, Special Forces guy, 5th Group, had some childhood issues, trauma that they dealt with, and very hardcore individual. And I was talking to him about the 3rd day, and he said, "Yeah, I don't really like her anymore because she made me cry on the 2nd day." And and he was there for, I think, 9 days, and the guy, he couldn't sleep more than an hour and a half or 2 hours at a time since he was 12 years old. Mm-hmm. So the last 40-some years, he couldn't sleep. And after Amy recalibrated him, he sleeps like 8 to 10 hours a night now, mm-hmm. uninterrupted. So like that's one of the things that we see when Amy recalibrates somebody is there's a piece to them. Almost everybody feels lighter, like physically lighter, and it improves their sleep like significantly.
Yep.
Maybe I do need to come see you.
Yeah.
All right, let's Brandon, let's go to song number 2.
18 when I shipped out. It was 51, north versus south. I walked into hell the day I hit that shore. An unknown soldier in the forgotten war. Dodging bullets, disarming minds, savage fighting, the cruelest kind. Like no enemy we've ever seen before. I'm still haunted by the forgotten war. We came back changed, we came back scarred. Some embodied bags and some silver stars. We ran through fire, half froze to death. Yeah, we saw things we wish we could forget. Even now, it's hard to ignore those unsung heroes of the forgotten war. No parades when we got home. It was almost like we'd never gone. We've been proud of what we've been fighting for. Never dreamed it would be the forgotten war. We came back changed, we came back scarred. Some embodied bags and some with silver stars. We ran through fire, half froze to death. Yeah, we saw things we wish we could forget. But I remember forevermore the men I served in the forgotten war. And I hope I'm greeted at heaven's door by all my brothers in the forgotten war. Yeah.
You're listening to the All Veterans Hour on WLIJ, engaging discussion by veterans for veterans, with your hosts Gary Leverett and Jimmy Miller. They are discussing veterans programs and issues, playing veteran-related music, and keeping American citizens informed on things they ought to know. Every second and fourth Monday on 98.7 and AM 1580, and also on WLIJradio.com. The All Veterans Hour on WLIJ is brought to you by the American Legion Post 23, the DAV Chapter 43, and the VFW Post 5019.
All right, we're back. We're here with Amy and Marty Fitzgerald from Fitzgerald Freedom Ranch over in Mount Pleasant, Tennessee, and we'll be getting back to them here in a few minutes. We got some things we need to talk about this Saturday at the DAV building, Highway 130 East. Turkey shoot. Y'all come on out, bring your shotguns, bring your wives, bring your kids, and win you a turkey or win you some money, or because we do have 50-50 rounds. So, but come on out at 9 o'clock in the morning, and we'll shoot till we don't have any more shooters. So that's this Saturday, November the 2nd. And we'll skip the 9th, and then we'll come back on the 16th and have another one, and on the 23rd we'll have another one. So we got 3 turkey shoots before Thanksgiving. The reason that we skipped the 9th is because that's going to be our Veterans Day parade in Shelbyville. That parade will start at 11 a.m. and we've been working hard on that parade, trying to make it a success, and we need as many people to come out and see that, because you can use that as a teaching tool to your children about what goes on in the military, because it's a thing that is being lost in these younger generations. They're not being taught what they need to be taught. So the Veterans Parade is November the 9th, and it starts at 11 a.m. And then Veterans Day is November the 11th, which is that following Monday. We have it on a Saturday or a Sunday to try to get more people out, the parade. But remember Veterans Day. Remember, Memorial Day is for those that paid the ultimate sacrifice. Veterans Day is for all veterans. Peacetime, wartime, anytime. If you've been in the military and you're a veteran, that is your day. It's not necessarily, I hear people all the time say Happy Memorial Day. That's not a good thing. Memorial Day is to remember. It's not about hot dogs and French fries and camping and boating. It's about remembering those who paid the ultimate sacrifice. But Veterans Day is about all of us veterans. So we hope you come and join us at the Veterans Parade.
Blood drive.
We're going to have a blood drive at Chick-fil-A, sponsored by Defenders of Freedom and Liberty and Chick-fil-A. And that's going to be, what date, Jimmy?
That is going to be on November 11th. Let's see, from 8 to 10. Is that what times I told you?
You said 8 to 1.
Okay, 8 to 1 it is then.
Okay, 8 to 1, November the 11th, Veterans Day. You're going to have a blood drive. So come out and give us some blood. Also want to mention Bill Tucker. Bill is our veteran driver that sees to it that veterans get to their doctor's appointment. We have 3 drivers. Bill is the coordinator of that. They will come to your home and pick you up, deliver you to your veteran's appointment, and bring you back home to your home. So Bill does a great job of coordinating that, and all he asks is that you give him 48 hours notice. He knows that with a VA you can't always do that, so he tries to work with you, but it's easier on him to schedule everything if he has 48 hours notice. And Bill's phone number is 931-607-7178. 931-607-7178. And Bill, we have 3 vehicles, and sometimes they're all on the road at the same time. They may be going 3 different ways. One may be going to Nashville, one to Murfreesboro, another one to Tullahoma or Columbia or somewhere. But anyway, they do a great job. It's Bill Tucker and David Easter and Jackie. I can't remember Jackie's last name. I should have wrote it down. And then if you need paperwork to get into the VA or to file for benefits from the VA, our Veteran Service Office is located on the square in Shelbyville in the basement of the courthouse. There are no steps to that office. So you go down a ramp and then you go in the basement to Ben's office. He has an administrative assistant, Kara, and she will talk to you while Ben's talking to somebody else sometime. But anyway, it's a busy office, so make an appointment before you go. Because if he's talking to somebody and it's an initial interview, it may be an hour, maybe an hour and a half. So always make an appointment if you're going to go see Ben. and he does a great job. His phone number is 931-685-4838. 685-4838. And then we have the Big Brothers Feed Bedford County at Christmas. What we do is we fill 250 food boxes and deliver them to the needy in Bedford County. It's a pretty good undertaking, and it costs us about $10,000. We have a lot of donations. Tyson Food donates 500 chickens every year. They're a big donor. Piggly Wiggly helps us a lot. Food Line helps us a lot. But even at that, we still have to buy a lot of food. So if you're looking for a place to make a donation, the American Legion would be a good one, because we're trying to raise money now for our food drive. And the way that works, on December the 18th, all the food will be at Piggly Wiggly. With the exception of the chickens, they'll still be at Tyson's. But that food will be moved to the Masonic Lodge on Colorado Boulevard on December the 18th. We will move that food there, and we will build the boxes, and we'll set up our assembly line. And then on the 19th, we will fill the boxes. So we need a lot of volunteers for these 2 days. Well, actually, we need a lot of volunteers for all 3 days. On the 19th, when we fill the boxes, it takes about 2.5 hours to fill 250 boxes. So if you can help us come out one of those 2 days, but the important day is the 21st. That's when we need the most of our help, because that's when we deliver the boxes to the needy in our county. And if you haven't ever helped us with that, you're missing a blessing. And if you haven't walked into a home, you walk up on the porch and, hey, this is from American Legion. You left us your phone number, and here we are. And they open the door, and you walk in, and 2 or 3 little kids over here, and Granny over there crying because now she's going to have a Christmas dinner. You see the tears come, and it makes you glad that you're able to bless somebody. And unfortunately, we have to cut it off at 250 because money, it's going to cost us about $10,000 probably, just even with the donations that we get, the food donations, to pay for what we do during Christmas week. Wreaths Across America Day is December the 14th. That's when we'll be laying wreaths in how many cemeteries? You remember, Jimmy? I believe it's 8 cemeteries. I know.
We've added a few this year
in our county. We try to lay a wreath on every veteran's grave. We try to remember our veterans that have gone on. We don't just lay that wreath and turn around and walk off. We say their name. We don't want them to be forgotten, so we say their name and salute. And if you want to be sure that your veteran has a wreath on their grave, the wreaths cost $17. And I forget how many thousands of dollars that we have to spend on that, Jimmy. I know Tim's told us, but I can't remember. I didn't write it down.
It's way on up there. It's in the $30,000-$40,000 range.
Yeah. So we do. I know we do Hillcrest in Shelbyville. We do Willow Mountain in Shelbyville. We do Press Grove in Unionville, Hollywood, Rosebank, and I'm missing 2 or 3, I know. But anyway, and I know in Willow Mountain there's over 1,000 buried in Willow Mountain, and over 500 buried in Hillcrest. So if you want to donate to that cause, it's $17 per wreath. And we try get it to all the veterans. But if we run out of money, we can only do so much. But it takes a lot of money to do that. Again, we're here with Amy and Marty Fitzgerald and from Freedom Ranch in Mount Pleasant, Tennessee. Brandon, let's go ahead and do that third song, then we'll come back to y'all.
Me and Fish Frenchie and Ralphie D. I had the Camp War Eagle 8 Station All-Star team. We were patching up bullet holes trying to survive. And even if we lost 1 out of 5, we got lucky. Got lucky. Mortars raining down like an iron flood, shaking these boots, wading through blood. We own the tanks, they own the night. And if anyone was standing in the morning light, we got lucky. We got lucky. Screaming and bleeding, goddamn noise. Bullets and bombs and messed up boys. Play with fire like a child's toys. It's a miracle of God. Anybody got out alive? Maybe we got lucky. Got lucky. Staff Sergeant Gunner named Maurice Young. His chest ripped open and a hole in his lung. Oh Lord. I packed him and I wrapped him and I put him on a bird. When we hugged a year later, there were just 3 words. We got lucky. Screaming and bleeding, goddamn noise. Bullets and bombs and messed up boys. Play with fire like a child's toys. It's a miracle of God. Anybody got out alive? Or maybe we got lucky. We got lucky. When my mind rolls back, it ain't always clear how we put them back together, didn't sleep for a year. As the new crew rolled in, I started to pray. Lord, let them all be able to say we got lucky. We got lucky. We got lucky. Lucky. We got lucky.
All right, we're back on our All Veterans Hour here with Jimmy Miller, my co-host. We have 2 special guests. We have Amy and Marty Fitzgerald from Freedom Ranch in Mount Pleasant, Tennessee. Guys, y'all been talking about what you do. We need to know how to get in touch with you, how to take advantage of your services.
Sure. So we do have a website. It's www.fitzgeraldfreedomranch.com. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. You can look at Fitzgerald Freedom Ranch for both of those. And then my phone number is 615-260-1512. If you do go on the website, there is a contact page where you can reach out and to one of our emails, and we will get back to you if you want to just come out and visit the ranch and just enjoy the nature and what we have out there, or if you want to schedule some time with Amy or just stay in the apartment, we can accommodate both of those through the website.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I think it would be well worthwhile for a lot of our veterans to take advantage of this, just from what we're hearing this morning. Would you agree, Jimmy?
I do, and I know people said they've tried this and they've tried this, but just sitting here talking with Amy, if you've got to that point where you don't think the VA can help you, I think she would be your next choice to go see her and see if she can help.
But if you haven't been to the VA and you're having these problems, you can still call her.
Absolutely. I have quite a few clients that go to the VA, they go there for medical issues, or they have a psychiatrist there, or they even talk to a social worker there once a month, and they see me, and I highly recommend multiple forms of support. Absolutely. In order to do that, yeah.
So you guys do this year-round?
We do.
Yes, sir.
We do it year-round, yeah.
We actually live at the ranch, so that's our home. And part of the reason we built the apartment above the garage, it's separate from the house, and so veterans have their own space they can go to, and spouses are welcome. It's usually a couple days stay, unless the veteran is doing an intensive with Amy, and then that's kind of the length of stay is kind of dependent on what she finds out about what the work that she needs to do. So sometimes it's a couple of days, sometimes it's broken up into multiple visits, and we did have, I think we mentioned before, one guy came in from Florida, and him and his wife were there for 9 days because there's a lot of work to be done there.
Yeah.
They were great people. We enjoyed them a lot.
Yeah.
And he got a lot of relief from the visit, and that seems to be the par for the course. It's the only people we've found that this doesn't work on is people that don't want help. There are people out there that they're not going to talk to a therapist. We had one guy, a Marine. Him and his wife came out, and he's like, I don't want to talk to a therapist. I don't want to do anything. I'm not sitting in front of anybody talking about feelings. I'm not going to do that. But he came out, and we walked around the ranch for 3 or 4 hours, and you could just see him start to play. He's talking about how he used to go to his grandpa's place in Kentucky when he was a little boy, and you could see the smile on his face, and you can see just kind of the weight of life kind of lift off him a little bit. And so even though he didn't really want therapy, I think he got some just being out on the land and taking a break from his everyday life. But Amy does amazing work, and
I think it's important to put out there too, because a lot of times people have this idea of what they think therapy is. I don't do therapy. I don't, like I said, I retired my therapy license to do this nonprofit so I can bring a holistic approach to meeting veterans so they feel like a person, not like a number, not like they have to get their insurance taken care of first, not like a diagnosis. So if I work with you and all your symptoms go away that are connected to a diagnosis that you have, that's wonderful. But with that said, a misconception that comes along with meeting with someone like me is that you're going to sit there and we're going to talk about your feelings. I promise you, I'm not going to bring you in there so you can sit there and talk about your feelings. I'm going to bring you in there so I can get to know you as a person. I'm going to hear your story. I'm going to hear about everything from how you grew up to what you're doing now to your family, your pets, your job. I want to know you as a person first. And then out of that, organically, we're going to find out what are the things that you want to see shift for you, what you want to have change for you. So I know when you're done seeing me, you felt like it was worth your while. And then I'm going to tell you what I can do and how I can do that and give you an idea of how long that's going to take. So, and then I use modalities that can help you encounter where you're blocked and remove that and pull it out like a root system. So it's actually a permanent thing. It's not like you have to go after it every week. We actually, every time we do work, we actually access things in your subconscious that we remove, so you don't have to keep dealing with that. And eventually you do great, and then you just contact me as needed. So it's a very different experience than I think a lot of people have. And just to also, so you guys know, there's a fundraiser for us in Spring Hill on November 3rd. It's the Sunday coming up at Fozzie's, and it's for the nonprofit, because everything we do is for free, so we function off donations. So they're doing a fundraiser for us from 1 to 4, I think.
1 to 4, yes.
So you're welcome to come there. It's a great place to have a meal or have a drink, listen to music. This Sunday, November 3rd, 1 to 4 at Fozzie's Bar in Spring Hill, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Everybody remember, turkey shoot this Saturday, 9 a.m. We need to see a bunch of shooters out there. This is the DAV and VFW fundraiser. And Jimmy, do we have anybody coming to the American Legion meeting? I'm going to invite these guys. If y'all want to come to the American Legion meeting and tell us, we might give you 20 minutes to tell about your ranch, and that's up to you guys.
When's your meeting?
It's the 5th of November. It's always the first Tuesday in the month. I think that's the 5th this time. Yeah, 5th of November.
Okay, yeah, we would very much appreciate the invitation. I think we'll just have to check the schedules.
What time is it at?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
And come hungry. We'll feed you.
Sounds great.
That's a good sign.
Yeah. Normally we have a meal at 6, and then about 6:45 we have a meeting. At that point, we would let you guys tell about what you do. And Tim, I don't know if Tim's got anybody, but he'll just have to get over it, right?
Yeah, nothing I know of. He didn't tell me nothing about it when I talked to him yesterday.
Okay. No, he's a good guy. But, yeah, we'd be glad to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thanks for being here this morning, Jimmy. Glad you made it this morning.
I am too.
So, he's got a frog in his throat. He's not usually got that deep of a voice.
I think it makes me sound good.
Yeah. Okay, Brandon, one more time. One more song, brother.
Had a kiss. I hadn't been in a bar. Man, the things I've missed. Life just passed right by me. Little sister barely recognized me. It seems like all my friends are gone. L-O-G-I, welcome home. I'm trying to get back in the world. Remember how to talk to a girl and how to act when I'm out with the boys, and how not to duck when I hear a loud noise. Remember who I am, where I fit in, to be here now, not where I've been, and how not to cuss every other word. I'm trying to get back in the world. Clothes are different, and the songs have changed. There's one more stoplight down on Main. I can't believe our town has grown. The girls are married or they've moved on. Feels like home's the one place I don't belong. L-O-G-I, welcome home. I'm trying to get back in the world. Remember how to talk to a girl. How to act when I'm out with the boys. And how not to duck when I hear a loud noise. Remember who I am, where I fit in. To be here now, not where I've been. And how not to cuss every other word. I'm trying to get back in the world. Oh, I'm trying to get back in the world.
When Middle Tennessee needs pure classic country they can't find anywhere else,
Be on a natural high.
it just comes natural to follow the leader.
Like naturally.
98.7 and AM 1580.